Welcome. Today we're going to discuss the technique Flashing Mace and some of the different ways in which we can relate it to other elements of the American Kenpo system. Now keep in mind that this is not a full comprehensive list, it's far from it, and it's not family groupings. Rather, it's just different ways that you can explore the American Kenpo system to see how it's formulated. So let's start out with a concept, the mother-father concept. So we're getting attacked with a right punch. The idea here is that we're going to get into a left neutral bow and do a left inward block. This would be our mother move. So the father move is determined by what we're doing with the right hand. In this case, my right hand is hanging low. So this gives us options. We can do something like Dance of Death, we can do something like Thundering Hammers, or something like Sleeper. But the interesting thing to notice is that we went to 3 different height zones. Well, just like we can do that to them, we can do that to ourselves. So by changing the father move and starting in the middle rather than low, we can do something like Attacking Mace or Flashing Mace. But this leads us into our technique, Flashing Mace. This is starting from a high zone. And the reason we're doing this is so that we can complete the category of high, middle, low for the mother-father concept. So now that we related it through that, let's move on to a different concept. In this case, the formulation equation. And if you see some of our previous videos, we've already explained it. So basically the way to think about the formulation equation is that we can add, change, or delete. So let's start out with adding. In this case, adding at the beginning, which is a prefix, which is how we get to that position. Adding something at the end, which is a suffix. And the one that we didn't talk about in our previous video, insert. So let's talk about inserting. So they come in with the punch. We start out our technique. Well, let's go back to those techniques we just talked about. I could easily go to Dance of Death and insert it so that I can go right back into Flashing Mace. We could do the same thing with Thundering Hammers or even Sleeper or even something like Attacking Mace. So these would all be insert. So now let's move into change, something as easy as regulate. Remember, regulate changes the power or the speed. Well, that could be done here with the break. Right? I can regulate how much force to use, whether I want to get a break or a hyperextension. But this could be something as easy as glancing salute, where we're doing the same thing with the opposite arm, or snapping twig, where we're doing it with both hands. So let's move on to rearrangement, changing the sequence. So we can do straight from the bottom and then go to the back or do the middle of the technique. So that would bring in rearrangement. But now let's relate that to altering. So let's say we're rearranging the technique and I hit high and now he covers up his high zone. Well, I can no longer continue the sequence. I have to alter my target. So rather than going high, we're going to go low and then high. And we're also going to alter our weapon. So rather than using the hand, we're going to use the elbow. This would give us something like Circling the Storm. But what if we weren't rearranging? What if we were just continuing our technique? Can we still alter it? Well, yeah, absolutely. We get to our break, and this could be as simple as something like Circling Destruction, where we're doing the heel pump, or Dance of Darkness, where we do the gouge to get behind them. So it's the same concept where we would go here and then continue. But notice what happened. Because we altered the technique, we had to adjust the method of execution. So rather than using raking, we had to use hooking or clawing to get behind the opponent. So this is going to lead us into one final technique, or part of the formulation equation, delete. And remember that delete could be as simple as a move or a series of sequences from the technique. So let's say we start out with our regular Flashing Mace, and then delete the rest of the technique and go straight into something like Leaping Crane. So the way we just related Flashing Mace to other elements of the American Kenpo system was through the formulation equation and through the mother-father concept. We hope this video helps you understand the American Kenpo system a little bit better. Thank you very much.